Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 6 of my Ansible series. Today's series, we are looking at iOS facts. So, I have a simple lab over here. It's an MPLS lab, but we will not focus on all the devices in the topology. We are only focusing on these two devices, R2 and R3, which is acting as route reflectors. Okay, so without wasting much time, let me open my terminal to these devices. So, looking at the topology, you can see we have interface E01 from R2. Same applies to R3 connecting to our management center, where I have a Kali Linux PC over here, which is going to act as our control node. So back on my terminal, I have R2 here. So as you can see, if I type show run pipe section BGP, can see that this router has been configured as a route reflector. And I'll do show IP interface brief. And as you can see, that's the IP address on R2. Now on R3, show IP interface brief shows me that I have this IP, which is the same as this IP on R2, which is going to be used as a management IP. Okay, so now back on my Kali, if config shows me that I have this IP address on Kali, and then it's at the same IP block for the management interface. I'm going to go ahead, ping my devices. So ping RR2. My previous videos in this series, I discussed how to create host names for IP addresses. So I wouldn't waste much time on that. So ping R2 to RR2 is responding, and ping RR3 is also responding. So I will try SSH to these devices. So SSH at R3 as the username. I will type the password. As you can see, I'm in. Show run pipe section BGP. Show run pipe section BGP. So I'm in R3 now. Going to SSH into R2 just to test connectivity without wasting much time. Same command. Show run pipe section BGP. There we have it. I'm going to exit. Now I'm going to navigate to our Ansible directory. I have a directory on my desktop, which is Ansible root slash desktop slash YT hyphen Ansible. So back in the directory, I can do ls to see the content of the directory. And as you can see, I have my Ansible configuration over here. So cat ansible.cfg, that's my Ansible configuration. Also cat the host file. So this is my configuration that I have for authenticating to the remote devices. Okay, so now let's see the facts. Okay, so there we have it. So this is a very simple Ansible script, which is going to fetch us a lot of information from these devices. Okay, so there we have it. So this is a simple play, and basically what it's going to do is we are using the iOS facts, and the iOS facts an Ansible model, as you can see over here. As I said earlier in my previous videos, everything about Ansible is well documented. You can check their Ansible website or their docs to find out more about them. So here we are using iOS facts from a lot of collection models. We are using iOS facts. Okay, so back on my simple play, I have a play named iOS facts, and I have a model here, iOS facts, so we can reference from the facts model on Ansible documentation. So this is iOS facts. and then gather subset all is an element of this model. So as you can see is here, gather subset all. So when you read, it states that when supplied, this argument restricts the facts collected to a given subset. Possible values for this argument include all. So back to my Ansible play, gather subset, I choose all. And then we have mini, we have hardware, we have config, we have interfaces. Specify a list of values including a larger subset. Use a value with an initial to collect all facts except the subset. So basically, these are the models that you can have, and here is to define connection parameters, which I've already done and reference for my previous videos. And as you can see, there are examples here. So back to my play, I have the play over here, gather subset, or then I'll register the subset. So this is the register subset is like a variable. So when we run the Ansible module using this element, we are going to gather a lot of facts from our device. But then, just like using Python, we create a variable to store all the output, and then we come here to a different play, and the play is printing all subsets gathered. Then we do a debug. So a debug will print out what is happening or show what is happening, and then we store it. So as we stored it over here, we are going to debug that variable that we store all the output here. So again, as we read from the Ansible model, we can also gather hardware. That's right over here. So we can gather all hardware. That's the hardware components of the device. So we are gathering hardware over here, and the same procedure. We register the variable, and then we print. And the next we gather interfaces over here, as stated in the Ansible model. So without wasting much time, let me go back. So I'm going to close this. Then the first thing that I'll do, let me clear my screen. So I'll do Ansible playbook, iOS facts, and I'll check if my syntax is correct. So as you can see, there is no issue with my syntax. It's very necessary. Other than that, you have your YAML file with a lot of indentation errors, so you have to check. So what I'm going to do next is to run my play iOS facts 0001.yml. I'm going to run the play. As you can see, it's running. First task is to gather iOS facts. It's going to gather everything about our device. That's the route reflectors. As you can see, RR2, RR3, they are all okay. So as you can see, that's the debug. The debug from the variable that stored all the operation that Ansible was performing on our nodes. Now, gather hardware is okay. We print the hardware. The last one is to gather the interfaces. So we also print the interface. Okay, so that's basically everything about the iOS model. Now, it's very important you get to understand how to design the YAML files. Other than that, you're going to get a lot of errors. I can promise you that. So you can start from my first video in this playlist and go about it, learn about it. I'm ready to support. Just leave a comment under my video and I will come to support you. So this is basically what we have on our devices. As you can see, we have the name as R3, the interface and everything right over here. The Python version Ansible is using. So everything is right here. Now you go to hardware, you get to see the hardware, you get to see the image the nodes are running. It's iOS and the memory free version and everything that we have on the device. The version of iOS being used, and the interfaces or the IP addresses gathered on the interfaces is right here. So that's how to use the iOS module from the Ansible collection, module collection. And thank you for watching this video. Next week, we'll be publishing a new video with a new model. See you in my next video. Bye bye.